are you, brother? I think I could do this.
I appreciate it.
I'm fighting for my life.
Oh, this kid's a savage.
That was points. I want to get choked out right now.
I'm Selema Masekela. After over 25 years of broadcasting in the world of action sports, I have seen an overabundance of risk-taking.
But risk has many faces.
It doesn't just live on the mountain or in the half-pipe.
It keeps dominion over the sky.
The land, the sea, and 1,000 places in between. Embracing risk is like signing a contract with yourself. You have to put a piece of you off to the side and lay it all on the line in order to do what you love. And in this season, I'll be traveling the world to meet some of the most exceptional people on earth who have signed that very contract. People who have built a personal relationship with risk, embody it, and perform at the highest level.
Welcome to the Team Ignition Show. There is nothing new about man's desire to prove that they are the dominant force. From the caves to the battlefields to the cage. Combat sports are just a modern expression of an ancient tradition. This episode of the Team Ignition Show is a home game for me because I am in Los Angeles and I get to meet an old friend, one of the most gifted combat sport athletes I know, who's also part of the greatest jiu-jitsu family legacy the earth has ever seen.
For millennia, the debate about the most effective martial arts rang around the world. Taekwondo over karate, Muay Thai over judo. When we talk about modern combat sports, one name is heralded above all. That name is Gracie. Kron Gracie is a multi-time gold medalist with titles at ADCC and IBJJF Pan American and European Championships. After transitioning into mixed martial arts, he went on a tear, winning his first 5 fights in a row, including his eagerly awaited debut in the UFC. Every victory came by submission, 4 of them in the very first round.
I'm Kron Gracie. I'm a jiu-jitsu specialist. I'm an ADCC World Champion. I fought in the UFC, and I'm a current MMA fighter.
In a world where pressure breaks most men, Kron Gracie was born into it.
The Gracie family is known to be one of the biggest fighting families in the world.
The son of Rickson Gracie and grandson of Helio Gracie, Kron carries one of the most legendary names in combat sports. But fear doesn't follow him because of his last name. It follows him because of what he does when the fight hits the ground.
How are you, brother?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Kron's grandfather, Helio, and his brother Carlos bred a family built for combat, instilling a relentless philosophy through their revolutionary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all raised to live by their mantra: any body, any place, any time.
My dad's generation, when they came to America, it was like us versus everybody. So my dad would go into all the judo schools, and coincidentally, he went to the judo school that I go to judo now in East LA. And he had went in there, him and his brothers challenged everybody. And the judo people at first, they tell me this later because I didn't know when I started going, but they were like, yeah, your dad came in here 20 years ago or whatever, and we were doing judo, and then before you know it, they were like tapping us out. And we're like, no, this is judo. And then before you know it, they're like, fuck it, let's fight. And then we're like, no, we don't want to fight. So that's how kind of the UFC came about.
And you had an uncle, was it, that fought in...
My uncle Hoy's fought UFC 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Wow. Born out of the Gracie Challenge, UFC 1 pit different combat styles against one another. Royce Gracie came out victorious, catapulting BJJ to the top of the food chain and giving birth to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What's that like for you as a kid growing up in this family?
So growing up, I was never really Kron. And so I had to fight my way out of that and be able to compete and be good enough to where people were calling me by my own name.
I haven't been on the mat in about a year. But since we're here and together, perhaps you wouldn't mind being my professor for a day and letting me walk through the steps of jiu-jitsu with you?
Yeah. Well, I think I could give you like a good baseline of, I know you have some experience, so that makes my job easier. And I think we can kind of get you a baseline of like how you should look at this little competition, a little bit of training.
I heard you say competition, like you want to put me up against some students?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a competition, no matter what.
Little tournament Masekela.
Yeah.
All right, well, if I'm in your hands, man, I think I could do this.
I appreciate it, let's do it.
No, it would be an honor. Kron's taking me into his world, teaching me Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu firsthand. It's an honor to learn from one of the best fighters on the planet, but I was definitely a little nervous about getting thrown in at the deep end. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a grappling art built on leverage, timing, and control, using technique to attack an opponent's joints or choke them until they tap or go to sleep. That's what makes it so risky. One small mistake and the fight can literally be over in seconds. In this sport, dislocations, broken bones, torn ligaments, even concussions, they're all part of the risk. And at my not so young age, I know I'm not exactly built to bounce back like I used to.
So we're just gonna bow in?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm gonna take the gi off to start because I wanna kind of just show you a little bit about the breathing. I heard you had some interest, and I think it's kind of, if I could start with this, and then you can kind of take as much as you can for your training, because you can think about this with whatever you're doing. So the idea is, the breathing is not so difficult. What makes it difficult is breathing properly while you're doing stressful things. You breathe through your diaphragm, so you breathe through as opposed to breathing through.
This is a breathwork technique made famous by Kron's father, Hickson, and a practice Kron has mastered throughout his fighting career to help aid some of his greatest victories. The goal is to breathe from the diaphragm and regulate my breathing, so I don't gas out under the pressure of combat. This technique truly is battle tried and tested.
We're gonna just warm up a little bit, training, and then wherever I feel like we need to stop, I feel like you need some corrections or something, we'll stop. Yeah. Do that for a little bit, and then let me get my mouthpiece, because white belts are the most dangerous.
He uses diaphragmic breathing to maximize oxygen intake, calm the nervous system, and improve physical performance under stress. This is grueling. He has such a complete understanding of my mediocre chess game, and he is toying with me.
Anything?
Good. What do you mean anything? What helps me is the fact that you're gonna get tired. What's gonna make you last is have more technique, more breathing, more timing. That stuff is gonna allow you to stretch it.
Yeah.
At one point, he was literally rolling with one hand, then tucked both hands into his belt, just to show me how much this is about technique and not strength. Humbling does not even begin to describe it.
He's like a little anaconda. You know, he's just like waiting to get you in position, and next thing you know it, you're like, oh, there comes the squeeze. It's always impressive when someone with those type of literally deadly skills is willing to treat it as play. It's the equivalent of trying to walk up to a baby grand or a Steinway piano and play Bach because you know how to play chopsticks. Ain't gonna happen. You take jiu-jitsu and then you apply that to this other space, the cage, mixed martial arts. The stakes are much higher. What is that like? Maybe you could describe the difference.
It's two different sports, but it's very much the same essence for me personally. So I've always trained jiu-jitsu with the intention to have a functioning jiu-jitsu with the gi, without the gi, for MMA, whatever the situation. And every fight with MMA is a new lesson, you know? So you learn quick, you know? You learn sometimes the hard way real quick that you can't do a certain move.
In the UFC, Kron Gracie brought his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the biggest stage and used it to torment opponents on the ground. He made his debut with a dominant win over Alex Caceres, showcasing relentless pressure and control. The first Gracie to win in the octagon since 1994. But his most recent fight ended in a knockout loss to Bryce Mitchell, showing both the risk and brutality of the sport if you make even the slightest mistake.
What's that like, though, to get into this cage where the stakes are that much higher? Like,
It's all how you think of it in my mind. So maybe in the first couple fights, I was like, man, I might die in here. I never looked up at an arena and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I realized I was not out completely, but I was out enough to look at the arena. So every time you go in an arena, you're always looking at the stage. This time was the first time I was looking up at the top. So it's pretty funny. You take a risk every time you step in the cage. So I just assess my risks and what are the pros and what are the cons? Am I willing to take this risk? Every time I've stepped into the cage, I thought I was gonna win. I was willing to gamble. Because when you gamble on yourself and it's a big risk, you win big. No matter the risk, if you come out alive, you got some money in your bank, so sometimes that's a big enough motivation.
Kron isn't easing me in anymore. He set up a mini tournament with some of his students. All of them train at Kron's school, all of them dangerous on the mat. Now, I am barely a white belt, which basically means I reside at the bottom of the food chain. It's ranked, it's live, and if I survive the semifinal, I go straight to the final. No shortcuts, no safety net, just me against guys who do this every single day. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about what I just walked into.
I am about to go engage in a little bit of open mat. It's been a solid year since I've been on the mat, so it's intimidating.
The white belt, very experienced. You're gonna warm up with him, 5 minutes.
Before the match, I had one last roll with a white belt, just trying to lock in the techniques Kron had showed me.
Breathe, good, okay.
But as I finished up, and I'll be honest, I really didn't feel that I was ready for what was coming.
Don't forget that was just the warm up. Don't worry, that was really good for the breathing. You lasted a lot longer than you would have if you were just trying to go hard.
I'm here as a guest and student of Kron Gracie, of the mighty Gracie family. And so we are going to do the best we can to honor what that means.
The first semifinal was already underway between two of Kron's pupils, both relentless. As I watched them go at it, it hit me. This is the level that I'm stepping into, and I might actually be in real trouble.
Round one. So, breathe.
Yeah.
Be great.
Okay.
All right, 5 minute match. If nobody submits, it's a draw.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
This is something completely different. I'm used to facing the elements, mountains, the ocean. But this is man on man. Someone actively trying to break you, choke you, submit you. It's brutal. It's intimate. And there's nowhere to hide. Every second feels like survival. I started leaning on my strength, trying to combine it with the techniques that Kron had shown me, and for a moment, it felt like it might work. Pressure, control, everything in place. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't find the submission.
Good job.
Very good. Very good.
You guys both draw. Good job.
Good.
But if there was points, you would have won, so we're gonna advance.
I feel like I'm fighting for my life. 2 5 minutes in a row feels like I am deeply in the end. I'm in the deep end of the pool with a weight vest. But the stakes of it being like a round and a winner definitely changes your mindset. Oh, this kid's a savage. I saw him, he might be a white belt, but he's a little young sponge. Basically a real giant spider monkey. And I look forward to the manner in which he's gonna tap me out, because he's gonna tap me out. Let's all be honest. I could be his grandfather.
This was a different challenge entirely. From the opening exchange, I never really felt in control. Every grip, every scramble felt like I was just a step behind and basically trying to survive the pace. At times, it honestly felt like parts of my body were beginning to fall apart. Arms heavy, legs gone, nothing responding the way I needed them to. This one was different, and it showed.
Oh, shit. That was awesome.
I've gotten to participate in and attempt a plethora of sports, especially on this show. But there is definitely something about being pit against another human being in combat, in contest, that is different. Like, it makes a survival fight or flight thing come alive in you, where you can't panic. You have to apply what it is that you have access to in the moment and do your best to survive. It was thrilling and also extremely humbling. To have experienced that in a tournament setting is something that I will carry with me for a very long time.
Next time on the Team Ignition Show.
No rules usually meant like no eye gouging, no biting, no groin attacks, no hair pulling.
They respect your strength so much that they don't really want to go there.
Yeah, it sucks though, because we don't get a fight. I'm training for war, I go to war. My dad's like, you gotta be ready to die. And it's like, I'm not gonna die at a jiu-jitsu tournament, you know?